Hello, welcome everybody back to my channel. It's been a while since I posted anything. We went on vacation into the Ozarks and did a bunch of hiking, and it was a lot of fun. I wanted to do a review of Song of Achilles, and I took some footage while I was there, but my living situation has changed. There's fewer people living here now, but I'm basically running a daycare every day for my extended family from 9 to 4, which is gonna make it a lot harder to get anything productive done. Right now is nap time though, and the bigger kids are watching some TV, and so I'm gonna do this quick video. I'm probably not gonna be doing as much editing as I've been done in the past, so I apologize in advance for like the likes and ums, but I just wanted to start getting some content out there again. Today, what I'm gonna be doing is unhauling the library picture books that I picked up right before the pandemic. So when it was like March 15th and everything was starting to like slowly shut down around here, I was like one of the people who was like, this is gonna be a real thing, this pandemic. And so I was like, I need to go to the library and get a ton of picture books because the libraries are gonna close down, and then what are we gonna do? So I'm very excited that just as of a few weeks ago, Houston Public Libraries have started offering curbside pickup again. So I've got 20 new picture books I'm gonna order because I'm so ready for some new books. But I've become very attached to these 14 books that I like grabbed on like one of the very last days that the library was open. And I wanted to tell you about them because I enjoy doing these like picture book reviews, and hopefully they're helpful to other parents, and maybe your library is doing curbside and you can get some of these books for your kids. And I thought it'd be fun to do it in the playground. This is the playground we built for my daughter's birthday this year. My husband and nephew and I all built it from raw lumber. My husband's a mechanical engineer, so like he was obviously like the brains behind it, and we were the grunt labor. But it's pretty cool. It's got a rock climbing wall and a little telescope and a steering wheel, and there's a slide. There's a slide. There's a rock climbing wall. You guys see. And down below underneath me there's like a chalkboard for the kids to write on, and then we saved all the like wooden ends blocks, like little cut off bits and pieces, and sanded them down to make a set of like big chunky blocks that they can build with on the like bottom floor of the playground. So yeah, so I'm outside. I'm gonna be pouring sweat by the end of this video because it is 96 degrees out here in Texas. And like 100% humidity as always because it's Houston, but you know, that's cool. I also want to let you know about a bunch of things before I get started that are coming up on my channel. So much it has to happen in like the next 3 weeks, but I'm gonna get it done somehow. So the coolest thing is my book launch is September 1st. There's going to be a contest in advance of that. The giveaway prize for that contest is going to be a queer apocalypse survival kit full of really awesome art from local like zines, prints, maybe a face mask, like tote bag, like really cool stuff made by local artists in Houston, all dealing with like queerness, other marginalizations, and climate change, which are the things I write about. And that's going to be in the Queer Apocalypse Survival Kit. There's going to be a contest on social media. I'll have a whole nother video about the rules of that contest and all the details and everything. But that will be in anticipation of my book launch on September 1st. So get excited about that and all the content that is coming. In addition to all that, I promised you guys on Twitter that I was going to do a series of videos on how to teach your kid to read. Because like I said, I'm running a daycare. I've got a 3 and a 5-year-old here, and right now I am teaching them to read. I have 10 years experience as a literacy specialist, working extensively with kids with dyslexia, special education, and ESL, as well as gifted and talented kids, all kinds of kids. And I am currently teaching my own child and my nephew how to read. And I want everyone else to feel empowered to do that too in an expert way. So I have scripted, and I promise I'm working on a series that like 500 of you were excited about on Twitter on how I'm doing that. But again, you're just gonna have to, I've got the book launch thing going on, the contest thing going on, so it's coming soon, I promise. All right, without further ado, sorry for the long intro. Let's get to the books. Let's talk about the books. I'm actually very emotional that I have to give these books back because they've been like part of our family for 6 months. But yeah, okay, so let's talk about them. The first, I don't have them in any particular order. We're just going to pull them off the stack in the way that they're stacked. The first book was Fort Building Time. This was a book with very cute art. It has rhyming poems about the different seasons of the year and different types of forts that you can build during those seasons. Books about winter are always like funny for my kids here in Houston because they're like, what is this? We don't really have seasons. We just have like hot as hell and then like kind of nice in the winter. But still, like the kids liked the art and enjoyed this book about building forts. So yeah, it was a cute book, and sometimes when we read it, they'd be like, okay, let's go build a fort. So it's kind of like a book you could pair with an activity, and that's by Megan Wagner is the author. Illustrations by Abigail Halpin. Okay. Oh, and a nice diverse group of kids in the representation in the book. The second book is, I've decided I'm never getting one of these again. These Disney books are not for me. It takes like a half of an hour to read these stinking things. And then your kid just wants to watch the movie. Just like halfway through, they're like, no, I want to watch the movie. Can I watch Disney Plus? Blah, blah, blah. So, anyways, yeah, just like, I don't know, read another book. One of the reasons I like this book was it was the only book that I could include on my picture books about Asian Pacific Islanders month. So we need way more picture books about Asian American Pacific. We need way more books about Pacific Islanders that aren't Moana. So get on that publishing. I'm sure the talent and the artists are out there pitching, and let's get some more Pacific Islander books. Okay, that aren't Moana. But yeah, these Disney reads are just like, they just take way too long, and the kid just wants to watch the movie. Like, I'd rather read something else. This book was really fun. Tide Pool Secrets. It is a Lift the Flap book. And so, of course, the kids love it. And it's all about tide pools. I think, like, I've always thought tide pools are really magical and fun. And I feel like this book kind of captures some of the magic of poking around and exploring tide pools, which is not, like, something that we have here in Houston. Our beaches in Galveston do not have tide pools. But, like, these are really fun flaps, and they kind of help kids understand the concepts of these animals and these interesting ecosystems. Can you find the camouflage crab? So lots to talk about. The 3 and the 5-year-old liked it a lot. And that's Tide Pool Secrets by Norelle Oliver. And really kind of cool, very unique art. All right, this book has come in handy lately. The Breaking News. Written and illustrated by Sarah Lynn Rule. I'm saying that right. This is a book about a kid, something bad happens, and her parents, it says, I remember when we heard the bad news. Someone else's air conditioner just kicked on. Sorry about that, guys. Suddenly, Mom is glued to the television. Dad can't stop checking his phone. This became extremely relevant. Obviously, it's just been kind of nonstop relevant. About like what, you know, I think it legitimizes the anxiety that children feel when they notice that adults are scared of what's going on in the world. And I think that's everything that kids can relate to. But the message is ultimately empowering and uplifting because the girl decides to do one little thing she can, which is to take care of the plant that her parents have been neglecting during the crisis. And then this ends up spreading into turning into their growing seeds for the whole neighborhood and making everybody happy. And so it's ultimately like a hopeful and empowering message for kids. And I think this was just great to have. And this might be one that we add to our permanent collection. I think it's great that it's like a darker skinned family being featured. I don't know what the news story was that prompted this book to come out, but it's relevant now, and it's probably gonna unfortunately continue to be relevant like on a regular basis. 2018. So yeah, I don't know what was the original bad news that inspired it, but it's always gonna be relevant. So yeah, I really recommend this one. Okay, I'm Getting a Checkup by Marilyn Singer, illustrated by, poor illustrator's name is covered by the Houston Public Library tag. David Milgrom. Okay, so this is a book about going to the doctor. I would definitely recommend this book for kids who are going to the doctor for the first time, especially like consciously for the first time, especially for like 1.5 or like 2-year-olds, and like going to the doctor is still new to them. My daughter loves going to the doctor because her doctor is awesome, and also because her doctor gives out suckers after visits, like very old school. And so my daughter has actually been begging to go to the doctor ever since the pandemic started, and unfortunately we've only felt comfortable doing like e-visits when we've needed to with her doctor. So I kind of hid this book because every time my daughter saw it, she was like, I want to go to the doctor, I want to go to the doctor. And my head was like, oh, can't go to the doctor right now. But it's very cute. It has a mix of male and female doctors, and it's got a rhyming poem about the different things you can go to the doctor. Something I really like about this book, it has 2 levels of text. So there's kind of like the cutesy poem describing each of the doctor's tools. So like the scale, the height bar. And so you could read just the short text, the short accessible text. And then there's more in-depth scientific text for older readers. The height bar on the scale measures how tall you are in feet and inches. Your doctor keeps a record of your height at each visit until you stop growing. So probably if your kid is like in the age of like, you know, just starting to pay attention to picture books around probably like 8 or 9 months to 2.5, 3 years old, you could just read this text, and then for older readers you could read the more advanced text as well, and you can kind of adjust it based on how their attention is doing. I would recommend it, although like I said, we stopped reading it because it made my daughter want to go to the doctor too much. Okay, this one has to be part of our permanent collection. Even Fairies Fart. Oh my god, I love this book so much. Story by Jennifer Stinson, pictures by Rebecca Ashdown. It is so funny. It's just kind of about how we're all flawed and like don't stress it, and it's just like funny. There's only one thing I really don't like, which is on the first page. Okay, the beginning of the poem. I skipped the second line. It says, in fairy tales, things always feel more perfect than in life. That's where I stop. I turn the page. But because the sentence after it says, the dashing prince will find the fairest maiden for his wife. Okay, I'm not into this like every man deserves a princess in a tower. Like, I don't know. I don't like that mindset. Like, I could do a whole thing on that. I just don't like that sentence, so I skip it. Men are not like owed a princess in a tower. But then, right, it goes on, everything seems so perfect, but even fairies fart. And then the book gets really funny. Yes, fairies fart, same as us, and goblins stain their clothes. This dragon cheats at every game this princess picks her nose. It's super fun and like sing-songy like that. And it's really funny, and my daughter loves the art. And I'm probably gonna buy this permanently because I really love it. Okay. Oh, this would probably be the highest rated by my daughter of all the books. I love Tools. Oh my God, my daughter loves this. And I think every single parent should have this for their kids because tools are like really important to learn about. And I would especially encourage like AFAB parents to buy this for their kids because it is important that we welcome our AFAB children into the world of tools. My daughter is now obsessed with this book to the point where she's like memorized it. And we got her a set of like toy tools, and it's really kind of disturbing because she comes up to me and takes my arm and is like, the saw cuts the line, the hammer pounds the nail, like with her tools. Like she likes to like amputate my arm with her tools, which is, it's a little disturbing, but it's great that she's learning words for tools and getting excited about tools. I'm really excited about that. See, the sharp saw cuts the line and the sawdust smells like pine. So she's really memorized this book. And she loves this. The inside paper, both in the front and the back, has these outlines of the tools, and she loves to like quiz herself and name them. So this has been a very fun and interactive book, and I would say it's probably my daughter's favorite of everything in this deck. This was one I picked up. I was just like, nonfiction section, like just random book. Hooray for Veterinarians. It was very cute. By Kurt Waldendorf. It just teaches kids what veterinarians do and the word veterinarian, animal doctors. I like that it's got questions that you can ask your kid to talk to them and get them engaged in the book. It's like, why might a veterinarian check an animal's ears? Like, what could be wrong? Like, get your kid to think about it. Reading comprehension. This is a great little nonfiction book. It seems like it's clearly like from some set of nonfiction kids books, Bumba books. So I liked it. A lot of diversity in the pictures of people interacting with the pets, so that was good. The Busy Little Squirrel. This book is almost exactly like The Busy Little Spider. It's like the same plot, but it's about a little squirrel getting ready for fall. It's almost like, how is this not copyright violation? Because it's literally just like a series of, if you're familiar with The Busy Little Spider, it's like the same thing. It's a series of animals saying their sound, squeak, squeak, and then asking the squirrel to play with them. And the squirrel is like, no, I'm very busy storing food for winter. Instead of the very busy spider, it's storing, building the web. So, but the art is very lovely, and it's all about like fall time, and it's like very autumnal and cute. And my kids didn't seem to mind that it's an exact copy of the plot of The Busy Little Spider. She doesn't care. She liked it okay, but it's like it wasn't one of her favorites. The art's really pretty. I think, again, being a Houstonian, it's like hard to connect with like autumnal books. We don't really have autumn here. The leaves don't change. You know, it doesn't get crisp and cold. But oh well. All right, this one's really cute. If you know the How Do Dinosaurs book, we got this one. I picked this one up because my daughter was in like 2.5. Yeah, when I picked out these books, she was 2.5, and she was in a very like I am immortal phase. So we picked out How Do Dinosaurs Stay Safe. These books are gorgeous. Like, the art is so amazing. It's so impressive. Like, these are like, look at that. It really captures like the scale of the dinosaurs, and they're really fun. So first it has these dinosaurs doing like very reckless, unsafe behavior. And it's like, do dinosaurs do this? Do dinosaurs run down the stairs when mama says no? And then it's like, no, they do not. Dinosaurs hold mama's hand when they cross the street. So it's like, even big scary dinosaurs will hold mama's hand crossing the street. That's very important. And the juxtaposition of like the big giant dinosaurs being very safe and careful is very funny. And so we've enjoyed this one. Oh, Moonshot. This is another one we are going to have to add to our permanent collection because we must own all space books, because as y'all know, my husband works for NASA. And so all the good space books. This is a very, I would not recommend this space book for most parents of 3-year-olds. I think it's probably gonna be more for like older, at least 5 or 6 or 7 or 8-year-olds. I think my daughter is so steeped in space stuff because like she used to go to preschool at Johnson Space Center. Like, she's been to Mission Control. Like, she's seen the Saturn V rocket. Like, it's very real to her, space stuff. Like, daddy talks to astronauts. She's seen daddy get into a spacesuit and go down in the pool in the neutral buoyancy lab and scuba dive in a spacesuit. So like, this stuff is very real to her in a way that I think for most 3-year-olds is probably still pretty abstract. Oh, look at that. Like, I think you could make this fun for any kids of that age, but like some of the pages you'll have to take down. Like on this page, obviously to a 3-year-old, you wouldn't read all the text. I don't read all the text to my daughter, but it's a very realistic, poetic telling of the first flight to the moon. And it's very scientifically accurate. It is beautiful art. It's got funny parts, like it's talking about how the astronauts go to the bathroom on this page. And then it can be very moving, you know, still ahead, there's the moon, cold and quiet, no air, no life, but glowing in the sky, glowing and growing, it takes them in, it pulls them close. So I just think this is a really lovingly beautiful book. It's by Brian Floca. Looks like he did the art and the illustration. and it is NASA flight controller approved. My husband agrees with all the science in this book. A lot of space books for kids have dubious science that he has issues about. So, but this one is approved. We're gonna have to buy that for the permanent collection. This was one I picked up back in March, and I knew my daughter was like 2.5, and I wanted to start having conversations about race and racism, and this ended up being one of now many books that we're using to start talking about those things. And it's just a great little biography of Josephine Baker, who was a black dancer, but because she was like one of the first black dancers, like I think in the 1920s, she experienced a lot, like in the 20s and 30s, and became like worldwide successful. She experienced a lot of prejudice, and this book kind of starts to introduce that in a very straightforward, no holds barred kind of way. And the art is cute and 2D, and I was like very curious to see how my daughter would like respond to these like first early conversations about race and racism and whiteness. And you know, as a 2.5-year-old, she was interested in the story. She liked Josephine's story. She really liked the fact that Josephine had a pet cheetah. But she also is now, like, with the help of this book and Sulway and We're Different, We're the Same, like gaining an understanding that like people have been treated differently because of their skin color, that is wrong, and that when we see that, we are aware of it, and we're aware of that it's wrong to do that. And that, I think, for a 3-year-old is like a good place to start. And Josephine Baker is a really inspiring life story, and this is a good little People Big Dreams book. I haven't read all the Little People Big Dreams book, but this one's good. I'm not going to talk much about this because I already reviewed it in my picture book review of Asian American and Pacific Islanders review, like the Moana one. It's a very cute story about a girl learning to use chopsticks. I highly recommend it. We may also get this one as part of our permanent collection because we're always looking for books with Asian American representation, because our family is white and Asian. It was written by Alan Wu, so it was written by a Asian author, although the illustrator is not Asian. Isabel Malenfant, as far as I know, not an Asian name. It could be. But yeah, we really like the art though. It's really pretty. Watercolors and ink, it looks like. Or maybe pencil. Or maybe collage. Look at those patterns on the shirt. I don't know. This art is really cool. So yeah, it's about how it's difficult to learn how to use chopsticks. That is a struggle that kids in Asian families know. It's real. The last book we had is one of these Dare to Dream Big. It's just, kids kind of all-purpose inspirational messages with a cast of very, kids of diverse skin tones. Something I really like about this book that my daughter thinks is really fun is, where is it? The page where it jumps sideways. Hold on. No, here. Look at this. You get to turn the book sideways. That's just fun. Dare to inspire, dare to dream, dare to speak out. It ends up with the kids leading a protest. I feel like dare to be a shining light. And we ended up talking about this because mommy and Aunt Sylvia were going to a lot of protests earlier this year. This was helpful to be this is what we're doing, this is what it is. I feel like this one is a nod to LGBT acceptance because you've got a rather short-haired boy in a tutu, and it's dare to be who you truly are. And it's kids playing in costumes. So this one's another cute one. Words by Lorna Gutierrez, pictures by Polly Noakes. So those are 14 books that have been ours for the last almost 6 months, since March, I think 15th or something. And I'm kind of sad about letting go of all of them, but I'm very excited to have 22 new picture books, actually 20 new picture books, and then I got 2 books on fungus for the teenager, because the teenager is interested in fungus. and trying to get them to read. And yeah, I'm really excited to share those with you as well. I'm not going to edit this video. I don't have time. I'm running a daycare. Please understand. I'm going to try to get you those books on how to teach your kids, or those videos on how to teach your kids read. We're going to be having the contest and the Queer Apocalypse Survival Giveaway contest prize is going to be amazing, and my book's going to launch on September 1st. And if you haven't bought my book yet, you really should. It's getting like rave reviews everywhere by everyone who reads it, like glowing reviews. We got a star review in Publishers Weekly. We're getting wall-to-wall 5-star reviews on Goodreads. The problem is it's a small indie press. It's kind of a weird niche novella about transness and climate change, and like we have not broken into like a wider, despite the Publishers Weekly starred article, like some of the bigger reviewing outlets are not like picking it up and spreading the word. So yeah, if y'all have any recommendations on people who, you know, I should reach out to and be like, hey, review this book, you know, let me know. And you should definitely check it out. Check out the reviews and see if it sounds like something that you'd be interested in. And I hope you're excited about all the content that's going to be coming on this channel that I'm going to make happen in spite of having almost no personal time for myself. So yeah, nap time's probably almost over and the kids are watching TV and I gotta go check on them. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe. It helps me so much. Please subscribe. Once I get to that 1,000 subscribers, it's like a whole new world of YouTube opportunities open up, so you can help me get there. And it's been great chatting with you here in the Treehouse, and I hope you're having a lovely day. See you next time.